So in order to find the x-intercepts, where do we put our 0 for y? And do we all know that f of x is the same as y? We know that, right? All right, so what we have is an equation. We have 0 equals negative square root of x plus 25 and then plus 4. We have to solve this for x. First thing we need to do is get rid of the plus 4. How do I get rid of plus 4? What's the opposite of adding 4? So let's subtract the 4 from both sides. Which is going to give me negative 4 equals negative square root of x plus 25. All right, we have this negative right here. That's being multiplied by the square root. That's a negative 1 is being multiplied by the square root. What's the opposite of multiplying by negative 1? Dividing. So let's divide both sides by negative 1. So now I have a positive 4 equals the square root of x plus 25. All right. Now I got to get rid of the square root. What's the opposite? Squaring. Let's do that. So 4 squared, 16. All right, now I got to finish this out. Get rid of the plus 25. And what's the opposite of plus 25? Subtract. So use your calculator to see what you get when you take 16 minus 25. And you should get negative 9 equals x. Who had that? Now remember, on the test, you have to write these as ordered pairs. So the answer that I'm looking for, let me go to the top where it says x-intercept. I'm looking for negative 9, 0. That is full credit right here. Any questions about the x-intercept? All right, let's find the y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, where do I put the 0? Yeah, for the x. So that means I have y equals a negative square root of, and then it's 0 plus 25 plus 4. And we're just doing order of operations. A square root is the same as a parentheses. So we're just doing PEMDAS. We start off with what's in the parentheses, which is the same as the square root. So we have y equals negative, and then I have the square root of 25 plus 4. The square root of 25 is 5. So negative 5 plus 4. And you get y equals negative 1. But again, I need that as an ordered pair. So on the test, you would say it's 0, negative 1 in order to get full credit. And that is your x and y intercept.
Why did you get rid of the negative percent?
Why did I do who?
Are we didn't get rid of negative percent?
The square root?
Yeah.
We did. So I multiplied it. So the square root, I just didn't show that step. But the square root of 25 is 5, and I took 5 times negative 1, and I got negative 5. So I did get rid of it. I just didn't show that. All right, so I'm going to give you another one just like this. I want you to try to do it on your own. Same steps. Find your x and y intercept. It's another square root equation. All right, that wasn't bad. Wasn't bad, actually. Let's go through it together. All right, so we have our x-intercept. So that means I have an equation that I have to solve. So the first thing I need to do is eliminate everything on the outside of the square root. So I'm going to add the 8. And then that 2 is being multiplied. So how do I get rid of something that's being multiplied? What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So 4 equals the square root of x plus 49. All right, now, in order to get rid of the square root, I have to square both sides. So that would be 16 equals x plus 49. And then my last step would be to subtract 49. And just about everybody I saw had the right answer, which would be negative 33. Who had negative 33? But you have to write it as an ordered pair. So what I'm looking for on the test is negative 33, 0. All right, now let's look at our y-intercept. So we have y equals 2 times the square root of 0 plus 49 minus 8. So I'm going to start off by adding 0 plus 49. And then what is the square root of 49? 7. And then 2 times 7 is 14. And 14 minus 8 is 6. So I'm looking for 0, 6. Any questions about how we work through that? So that's the last component that will be on the test. We're going to do one more question today, and then we'll finish this out tomorrow. Go ahead and copy this down. Question C. Was there anybody absent yesterday? You weren't here? Were you here yesterday? Okay, I passed out the study guide. So it's down at the bottom where it says extra reviews in the pre-cal. Yeah. And the answer key, I believe, I'm like 90% sure. I already put it up on Canvas, but I'll have somebody check at the end of class. So this is actually, there's actually 2 different ways we could go about solving this. But does anyone recognize the pattern? This is a special pattern in factoring. Difference of perfect squares, difference of 2 squares. 16 and 25 are both perfect squares. So I can just immediately go down to my factors. We don't need to make a box. This is a pattern. It only happens when you have perfect squares though. Okay, so what do I multiply to get 16x squared? What's the square root of 16? 4. So I have a 4x in the front of both of my factors. Now let's look at 25. What do I multiply to get 25? So I got a 5 in the back of my factors. In this pattern, 1 is positive and 1 is minus, subtraction. So I want you to take a moment and set both of your factors equal to 0. Remember we said yesterday, if there's an exponent on the variable, that means we have 2 of them. So there's actually 2 x-intercepts. So leave them both as fractions. So for the first one, you're going to subtract the 5 and divide by 4. And the second one, you're adding 5 and dividing by 4. So you can write that 2 different ways. I will take either way. You can separate it and say negative 5 over 4, 0, positive 5 over 4, 0. Or you can just put this plus or minus to show that there's 2 different x-intercepts. So that's my x-intercepts. Now let's talk about y-intercept. So let me label this was x-intercept. All right, now let's talk about the y-intercept. Y-intercept is going to go a lot faster. Okay, so what we have here is we have y equals and 16 x squared minus 25. Put a 0 right here. And 0 times anything is what? 0. So this whole thing is going to change to a 0. So I have y equals 0 minus 25. Which means that y equals negative 25. So my y-intercept is at 0, negative 25.